G'day folks, Mike here with another one of Mike's Garden Thoughts. And today I want to talk about dealing with pests and how we approach that in permaculture and how you can approach it in your garden. And I want to challenge some of the thinking that you may have on this subject. So if we take a peek down here, if you look in behind me, you'll see, can you see that? I've had a bunch of critters, caterpillars, slugs, what have you, coming in and munching my produce here, my kale, my lettuce, my tomatoes, all sorts, right? Now, it's really easy when this happens for us to think, oh, you cheeky devils, and want to get rid of them. But I challenge your thinking on this. So, one of the core values, not principles, there are 12 principles and there are 3 central ethics within permaculture. And one of those central ethics is the concept of fair share or return of the surplus. And what that means is giving back that which you don't need. And that includes to the environment, to the ecosystem, and to the animals that inhabit it. So it's really easy for us to look at the critters getting into your garden and munching away at your food and thinking, I don't want them doing that, right? That's my food. We want to scratch that kind of thinking, right? Because actually, things coming in and eating your food is a perfect indication that it's really good. It's a perfect indication that it's good to go and ready to eat, and it's valuable, that things want to eat it, right? It's nutrient dense. It's good to go. So, conversely, if things aren't eating your plants, not only is your system not really a part of the ecosystem, but also that should be sending up big red flags that this is not good. This is not good to eat. So, in fact, things eating your plants is actually a really good sign, a really good green flag that things are good to go in your system, that you have an ecosystem, and that your produce is valuable. It's good to consume. So, now, in saying that, we obviously don't want pests. Pests, I use the term in quotation marks. We don't want critters coming in and eating absolutely everything. We want to give back. We want to provide for them and their health as well within the system, but we also want some for ourselves. Now, in saying that, there's absolutely nothing wrong with eating this stuff. You know, look at this. You see that there? Look at this bit of kale. You see that? It's been absolutely munched. But there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Give it a rinse. Give it a wash. There's absolutely nothing wrong with eating that, and just because it does not meet your Coles or Woolworths cosmetic standard does not mean that there's any reduction in quality. In fact, it's probably a really good sign. Now, if I were to be staying here longer, what I would do to mitigate the situation a little bit is, you'll see there's not a lot of levels here, and a lot of stuff has come out of the garden recently because of the changing of the seasons and so on. So there's not as much diversity as there normally is in here. And the more you increase your diversity, the more you increase your resilience, meaning that pests will go after certain things but not others. And so the more diversity you have inside the system, the better and more resilient it is, the more it keeps the pests away, and the better your produce will turn out. That is what I would do if I was sticking around here longer. Unfortunately, I'm about to leave this property in the nearest future, so I'll be doing a bit less maintenance of this veggie plot than I would be meticulously doing otherwise. But that is the strategy that I would take going forward. So the takeaways from this are, remember that concept of fair share and return of the surplus. Give back to the system, to the animals, everything that exists within your ecosystem. Remember, you're creating an ecosystem first and providing for the needs of the creatures within that ecosystem. You massively increase the health, resilience, diversity, and abundance. That's a bit of a buzzword for me. But massively increasing the efficacy and the goodness that comes out of your system. And so, actually, pests, again, creatures coming in and eating your stuff, is a really, really, really good sign. And take it for the wonderful news that it is. Your produce is good to go. Happy days. Care for the creatures within your system, because remember, they're always performing ecological services. They're working towards the benefit of the ecosystem, and you would encourage them to do so. So that's it from me. Another one of Mike's garden thoughts. Chew on that. Get stuck in your garden. Nothing wrong with eating any of that. Happy days, guys. Or, also, had my first mulberry off this little mini tree today. It was so good, so exciting. I'm so pumped for that. And my first strawberries poking their heads out. So, happy days. All right, guys. Happy growing, happy life. Cheers, Mike out.